So, as Colby said, my name is Mary Catherine. This cough drop is really annoying me right now, but it's okay because it's gonna make me talk to y'all. I'm a senior. I graduate in May in nutrition, which is wild because I can't believe I'm graduating. I don't feel old enough to do that, but it's fine. And yeah, so I'm just gonna start off with a little story, and it may seem kind of random, but it's gonna relate, I promise. So I grew up in a family with a dad and a mom and a brother in a cookie cutter neighborhood north of Dallas, complete suburbs, but completely loved. I am just so grateful for the environment that I was raised in and how much my parents loved me, and I never had the opportunity to question if I was loved or not because they were just so good to me. I'm so grateful for that. But I was a scrub, and if you don't know what a scrub is, it means a little freshman, not freshman, you know what I mean? Somebody that just messes up, like me. Not that all freshmen mess up, but I did as a freshman. Anyway, so I'd always be curious, because when you're born into love and born in a natural childhood, you're curious. And so my dad would do his thing and take us places, or barbecue us chicken on Sundays or something. And sometimes I think, Dad, you're doing something wrong. Little 7-year-old me thinking, I know better than Dad. No. So my dad would always look at me when he had a different plan that wasn't what I thought. And when I would question him, he'd say, Mary Catherine, trust is the key in any relationship. And I'd be like, ha ha ha, okay daddy, whatever, and go on about my business. And if you know my dad, which some of you do, and some of you don't, because some of you don't know me, my dad is the biggest goofball ever. He is, Brooke's nodding her head, she knows. He's just such a goof and so fun. So anything he says, I take it kind of as a joke, because he's just such a typical dad. And so I went through my life hearing this phrase trust is the key in any relationship. Trust is the key in any relationship. And I just took it as haha, Dad, whatever. But as I've grown into adulthood and as I've grown in my relationship with the Lord, I've realized some truth to that. And that every time my dad was saying, Mary Catherine, trust is the key in any relationship, he was calling me to trust him deeper. He was calling me to enter deeper into my identity as his daughter, and to allow him to enter deeper into his identity as my father, and to allow me to give up my control to him. But me being a scrub, I always just wanted to take my control and do my thing, and I thought my way was the best way because 7 to 21-year-old Mary Catherine thinks she knows best at everything she does, but she doesn't. So yeah, basically I've always desired to give up that trust, but it's something I've always struggled with. And so sitting and really allowing myself to give up control and to give up trust has always been hard for me. So that will come more into play a little bit later, but yeah, I'm basically going to tell you a little bit more about my life and how my prayer life got to where it is today. So I mentioned I grew up in a cookie cutter life. I have in my notes cradle Catholic, cookie cutter, easy peasy. That was my childhood. And because I was so fortunate to have a childhood like that, I didn't really need God. I was raised in the Catholic faith. I went to Mass every Sunday, but I didn't really need somebody to come and save me because I've had everything I ever wanted and have everything I ever needed. And I would go to God and I'd be like, hey God, here's my good things, and here's all the things I'm excited about, here's what I want to talk to you about. And then I'd go away, and it was mostly during Mass, or sometimes I'd go to a Bible study in high school, and it was fine. But I didn't know God as a person, and I didn't know God as a relationship, somebody I could have a relationship with. He was just somebody that was there that I should go thank for my things, but the bad things, he didn't need to see that, he didn't need to hear that, because my mess was nothing compared to anybody else's mess, because I didn't have that much of a mess. So I didn't feel worthy to bring my mess to the Lord, nor that he really wanted to hear it, because I was doing fine. And so like I went on life very content, like life was great, just doing my thing all throughout high school. And then I started going to a Catholic summer camp in East Texas called the Pines, and like, y'all, it's a beautiful place. I accredit that place to my conversion, but there's a story, another story. But like the first time I went to the Pines, and progressively every summer after, I noticed that the way that people interacted with each other there was so much different than the way that I encountered in my public secular high school. Like I'd never been exposed in such a profound way to a joy that was so like abounding and like so just like wildly free. And I was like, oh my gosh, like what is this? And it took me like 4 years to really realize like, no, like this is something I want, like I desire this. And so coming into college, I had 2 goals. 1, join a sorority. 2, grow closer to God. I know, kind of different, but it's okay. So I joined a sorority. It was great. Still in the sorority. About to graduate, so I won't be in the sorority anymore. But yeah. And so I joined the sorority, and I kept coming around Christ the King. And I kept coming around Christ the King, and I kept coming around Christ the King. I went on Tiger Awakening 60. I don't think, like, I'm so old that our banner's not even up anymore. But yeah, I remember just like coming around Christ the King and like twiddling my thumbs, walking around, being like, hey, having a conversation with somebody and then feeling awkward and then turning around, having a conversation with the other person I knew, and then they went to go talk to their actual friends, and then I'd just be like, okay. I'm gonna say something really awkward and then go back to my dorm and think about how weird I am. So yeah, if you're feeling that way at Christ the King, like persevere, it gets better. I bet my best friend, I'm up here talking, and she's up here leading the retreat. So like, just like keep pushing. It's to find your people is hard, but pray for them and it'll happen. But yeah, so I got discouraged because like I wanted that community that I saw at camp, and I wasn't finding it immediately here. Like I was asking God for it, and He wasn't giving it back like fast food. And we're so like into that immediate gratification thing in this day and age, like wanting it immediately, and I didn't get that, and I was like, ugh. And so I like just got frustrated and spent most of my time with my sorority, which was good. Like my friends there are good. But freshman year goes on, and I go into sophomore year. I spent the whole summer at camp before sophomore year, and then I went directly into recruitment. I don't know if any of y'all, I'm sure some of y'all are in a sorority, I know some of y'all are in a sorority, but I'm not sure how many of y'all have been on the other side of recruitment, and it's just like not meant for people like me. And I remember just like being so discouraged and so like broken by seeing the state of the brokenness of our society in that process. And a lot of my friends that I had in my freshman year just like kind of grew apart because we had different views of this process. Because you're stuck in a house for 2 weeks with 400 or 300 girls. So like a lot of those friendships that I was like really close to, that I spent every day with freshman year, they started to drift apart. And so then school starts,